So I haven't really had time to do many Florida videos. That's one of the main things about my channel. I've just been doing daily vlogs because they take less time and planning. I've planned this video today and it's just going to be tips for first timers. I wish there was a video like this when I first started, because we went to Florida not knowing anything. We didn't know about any Facebook groups, any forums, anything, so we just basically went with no knowledge. So hopefully this video helps you, so here we go. So the first tip's around saving money. You can buy loads and loads of gifts inside Disneyland, but if you're trying to save a little bit of money, try and buy them outside of the theme park. There's tons of gift shops up and down International Drive and around other areas which I've visited. And it may not be legit Disney or Universal or anything to do with Florida merchandise, but it's much cheaper. We've got two little nephews who we buy for, and we try to buy for them outside of the parks. I mean, you can get, we normally get them like t-shirts, a plush toy, and it comes to like a fraction of the price that we would pay in Disney. We have bought some things inside Disney, mainly for us, mainly souvenirs to keep, but a lot of the other things that we'll buy outside of the theme parks. You can't buy a refillable cup inside Disney unless you're using the resort hotel ones, but water is free. So if you don't want to spend loads of money on fizzy drinks, you can just buy water. Well, not buy, but get water free from the kiosks all day long. So if you've got a bottle, they'll fill it up for you, or they'll give you a cup with ice water in as well. Universal, they've got two types of refillable cups. You both have to pay for the souvenir cups, but one of them you pay for the refills. I think it's like $1.09 with tax, roughly. And the other one is you pay daily, and then it's the Coke Freestyle machines where they've got like over 100 different flavours. You pay for the day, and you can fill it up as many times as you want during that day, which is what we get because it's worth it, because the weather's so hot, we're always thirsty. You can get fizzy drinks and you can get unfizzy drinks as well. You can get Powerade and that as well, which is good for when it's hot and you're sweating and whatnot. So that's another good money saving tip. There's also two apps if you've got a smartphone which I recommend. The first one is the MDE, which is My Disney Experience. We didn't know about any of the apps the first time we went, but now we use them all the time. The MDE app, you can book all your reservations, you can do all your fast passes. If you're staying on site at Disney, you can book them 60 days in advance. If you're staying off site, you can book your fast passes 30 days in advance. I'm not sure that if there's a difference between booking reservations on site or off site, but for us who stay off site, you can book reservations 180 days in advance, which is what we've started doing now as we go in September. The other one is the Universal app. It's not as good as My Disney Experience, but it still tells you like all the wait times for the rides, the show times, and there's also a map as well in case you get lost in the park. So there, recommend downloading them before you go. Disney and Universal both have free Wi-Fi, so you can connect if you don't want to run like a big phone bill up. SeaWorld does also have an app, although I have got it on my phone. I haven't really used it or benefited from it whilst I've been in the parks, but it does show you a map as well. But around the parks you can always pick up like a paper copy of a map as well in case you don't have the smartphone. This is probably the best tip I can give you. Wear comfortable shoes. The first year we went, Becca just took loads of like sandals. I bought a brand new pair of trainers and my feet were in agony for the full 2 weeks. So now I take an old pair of trainers and a comfortable pair of flip-flops. We bought Croc flip-flops one year when we were in the theme park, which we paid over the odds for, but they were the most comfortable things after my feet were burning all day long. So I'd recommend either taking old trainers, or now I have a pair of running trainers which are really comfortable. I wear my Apple Watch whilst we're there, and I'm walking like 8-9 miles on average a day, so you're all going to be doing a lot of walking around in the theme parks. We also take a backpack each, so we'll wear our trainers to go, but we'll also put our flip-flops in the backpack. Also we'll take a poncho because it's quite often that it rains in Florida for a short period of time, and we'll also take our refillable cups and anything else we need. I take the camera, the GoPro, spare batteries and a power bank as well, as long as the memory cards. So it's great to have a little backpack. Also if you're on the water rides, you can put your flip-flops on and put your trainers in your backpack or your shoes, and then it saves you walking around with wet feet all day. Also take a spare t-shirt as well, which I do for if we've been on the water ride, so I can swap them. So again, you're not walking around wet until you're dry. If you're like me who takes a lot of videos in the theme parks and a lot of photos, take spare memory cards, take spare batteries for your cameras because they do run down quite quick. Also, if there's a few of you in a group who have got like smartphones and whatnot, it might be better to club together, or if you've already got one, take a power bank, because then you can plug your phone in or camera and it'll charge it up then and there for you. I take about 4 memory cards. I've got the new Canon G7X this year, which I'm going to buy a couple of extra batteries for just in case. I've also got the GoPro, which I'll be using for like underwater things and strapping to my chest for rides. I've got 3 batteries for that, and also I've got the dual charger, so I can charge all 3 at the same time. So during the day I've got enough to record all the footage I want to get for that day. I did upload a blank planner onto Orlando Uncovered, which I hope a lot of you have gotten, enjoyed and used. The main tip I can give you is to plan before you go. As I say, the first year we went, we didn't plan anything at all, and we missed out on so much because we didn't do our research before we went. We just turned up, decided what park we were going to that day. By the time we got to the park, it was nearly 11, 12 o'clock, so we missed out on quite a lot of the day. So we are quite anal about planning, but you don't have to be. But just plan where you're going and what you're going before you actually get there, so you get the most out of your trip. Another tip, if you don't have the car hire, is to plan how you're going to get to the theme parks for the next day. We stay at the Rosen Inn International on International Drive, and they do a free shuttle to Universal and SeaWorld, which you have to book the day before, and you get a little ticket to prove that you've booked it. Also, they do a shuttle to Disney, which is about £18 per person round trip. Again, that has to be booked 24 hours in advance. So on our planner, the day before we're going to said park, I'll just put a little note on, remind yourself to book the shuttle, because if you're not fast, you're last, and you'll miss out. Otherwise, you'll have to get the bus from SeaWorld to Disney and then transport to your parks, and it's just so much time consuming. So do it that way and you will save loads of time. You'll get the parks much earlier. I did do another video on rides that for wimps, if that makes sense, for people who don't like rides but still want to try some. So if you're not a fan of rides but you like the sound of them, the advice I can give you is to YouTube the rides first. Tim Tracker has a channel called My Theme Park Point of View, POV, and he shows you mainly nearly every single ride in the theme parks from a rider's perspective, so you can decide if you like the ride or if you think it's too scary for you. So before we went, we actually googled a lot of rides, or YouTube should I say, and we found out if I think I would like them or not, and it turns out that I did quite like a lot of them, and I decided the ones that I didn't want to go on as well. If it's your first time, tipping in America is essential. People in restaurants don't make a lot of money and they rely on the tips. Whether you tip them or not, they get taxed on those tips. The average tipping rate is between 50 and 20%. If you haven't had a good experience, or if you had bad service and you don't leave a tip, they'll generally ask why you didn't leave a tip. But you'll probably find like 99.9% of the time the waiters and waitresses are spot on over there. They can't do enough for you. So on the bottom of your receipt, it normally tells you how much you should pay as a tip for like different percentages. So like 15, 17, 18 and 20. They'll normally calculate it for you. There's also an app on the iPhone which you can calculate percentages of as well. We normally leave a little bit extra than 20 if we've had great service. If we've just had standard service, we'll just leave the 15% because again, they rely on those tips. If you're not using any of the smartphone apps, I'd recommend as soon as you get into the park to grab a park map. It tells you all the show times, where the meet and greets are located, toilets, kiosks, that sort of thing. It tells you all the rides as well, where they're located. So it's handy to keep, and also a nice souvenir to bring back for when you're showing your friends and family where you've been. Memory Maker in Disney World is now included with the UK ticket, so make the most of it. You can get all your character meet and greet photos. There's photo pass characters all around the theme parks, and also you get your ride photos as well. All you need to do is link your Memory Maker to your park ticket. If you do happen to have a magic band, once you get your photo taken, the photographer just scans your magic band and that's linked to your account. What I've found is they're normally on your MDE app within like the next sort of hour, so you can view them, download them and save them from there. In the last one, which is a lot of first timers don't know because a lot of people don't seem to tell you, is you can only buy up to £390 worth of tax-free goods to bring back into the UK, so try and stick within your limit. I know a lot of people don't, and a lot of people don't mention it, but if you do get caught, you will have to pay the full VAT once you get back to the UK on those things that you've bought. So £390, whatever that is, converted into dollars, that's what you can bring back into the UK per person. So I hope you found this video informative enough for you for first timers. Again, I wish this was around, or I knew somebody who did this when I was a first timer going to Florida. I found these tips have helped me a lot since I've been 4 years in a row now, and I found these tips to be the best ones. Other people may have other tips or other views. This is just my perspective on going to Florida, and these are the things that help me get by day to day whilst I'm there. So if you like the video, please like and subscribe. I will be putting more Florida based videos up as well, on planning, updates around the theme parks, the new rides and shows which are coming out, and also me daily vlogs as well.